Welcome to the 3Kings podcast mixtape review. Tonight's mixtape is Joey BadA's his latest mixtape, 1999. Let's see what everybody think about it. Along with me today, we got all three of the members of this group here today with Taylor and Stephan. And you guys, so how do you guys feel about this mixtape?
Let's start us off.
1999, great mixtape. From right off the bat, first impressions, Joey BadA exhibits a mad lyrical presence, just strong lyrical presence throughout the whole project. As far as production, you guys, Taylor, Ben, there's like several producers on the track.
Yeah.
That are throughout the mixtape, right?
Yeah. I think it's like, what is it like? Madlib does a couple of beats. MF Doom.
Madlib does a couple of beats. MF Doom.
Then he got some in-house people.
Mostly it's in-house though. Mostly it's just pro era people. Yeah. But there's Madlib got a couple on there, and MF Doom I think has like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it's just a strong project throughout. The production's really good. The beats, it's all kind of a retro. I guess that's terms the name 1999, even though it's not that far long ago. Mm-hmm. But it's all kind of, you're not going to have a lot of synth type, sounds on here. It's all pretty laid back, easygoing music throughout the whole series. No real gritty tracks. Even though that doesn't stop Joey BadA lyricism, in my opinion, from being gritty. Like his storytelling capabilities are able to capture all these different types of pictures. Like one of my favorite lyrics is where he goes, ever since 9-5, Mama been working 9-5. It's like my favorite. Just the way he sets up all these different stories throughout the mixtape. So that's my first impression of it. Taylor.
Oh, my turn. I mean, I thought it was like for him to be 15, 16 years old and put out like this kind of mixtape was amazing. To me, like, when I felt like he's rapping like he's washing a lot of guys who've made a lot of material. He's washing them lyrically. He's washing them, but as far as the whole mixtape, like to me, like I mean, there may be a couple of tracks I wasn't really like, but the majority of the mixtape is just dope because he's flowing over it. Like I said, the beats aren't hard hitting. There aren't any trap beats on here, which isn't a problem, but there aren't any trap beats on here. Ain't no synthy beats, ain't no Watch the Throne type beats on here. It's just, he's just flowing over some classic smooth 90s, boom bap type of beat, which is, it's dope.
Nice.
He's got some good features by some guys in the Pro Era crew.
Capital Steve.
Yeah, Capital Steve, CJ Fly, you know what I mean? That, was it the last song on it? The Posse Cut's actually dope.
Jay Dilla. That's the producer that passed away. Jay Dilla even has a track on here that he did that he uses. He uses
everybody
a Jay Dilla track on here.
Everybody has a Jay Dilla track under the belt.
Because Jay Dilla has like a gajillion unused beats that he just had laying around when he died.
But just to wrap up my first impression, just to wrap up mine, like real quick, like it's a dope he's 15, 16, and he's so he's lyrically he has so much room to improve already. He's still watching people. Like if you like lyricism and then wordplay, I don't care if you're older or if you're that young. Like you're dope. If you like hip hop, if you appreciate that type of production, then you're gonna love this. So that's my first impression of it. Go ahead, man.
Here.
I've been really enjoyed the mixtape. Basically everything you guys have said, I agree with. Really good raps. Really good lyricism. Really good beats. It was just a very good tape. It does have a really older feel. It reminds me, I won't say it's as good as Illmatic, but it reminds me of that time period.
Yeah,
there's no one here that's Illmatic, but it reminds me of the way beats, especially the beats. There's certain things that producers did back then with drums and stuff that producers don't do now with their drums and how they put together beats. And this mixtape seemed to have that kind of feel. It was a good mixtape. I'm really interested to see what he does from here on out. If his next thing is his album, whenever the Pro Era album comes out, what it sounds like, and but yeah, overall it was a very, very good mixtape.
Most definitely.
So what y'all like? So as far as Joy Bad, like, who would you like compare him to? Like, let's talk about like maybe like 4 or 5. Who would you compare him to? Like, in like when you hear him rap, who do you think of off the top of your head?
I'm kind of gonna go right back to what Ben said, and although I agree with Ben to some extent that it's not as good as Illmatic, it sounds like I give him that sound like Nas, and it's in a sense because it's the type of storytelling.
True. That
East Coast storytelling type of rap of living and trying to survive in a high stress area life or lifestyle. Just him trying to live day to day and trying to make it. It's kind of just a storytelling of people. Like one song, he's talking about people crushing his dreams, getting shot. Like you getting shot and losing your dreams. Just right there because the man's drunk or something. And I feel like him and Nas and those type of storytellers are both always like kind of taking you to the root levels of what's happening in their hoods or neighborhoods or however you want to say it. So I would almost put him I would put him in that same storytelling category as Nas.
I could see that. Like the only thing I wouldn't say like as far as like maybe sound like he had that, thick Brooklyn accent that kind of reminds me of other people, but like I feel what you're saying though. I feel it.
Yeah. Cause I don't think he sounds necessarily like anybody I've heard. Off the top of my head, I can't put his like the sonic or just like his voice. I can't put it with anybody else. Cause he's like you said, Taylor, dude, the cat's like 15 years old, like 15, 16. So even his voice is, isn't like some of the other rappers out there.
True.
I feel like storytelling is what I will put him in the group of storytellers.
What about you, man?
He reminds me a little bit, like you said, Nas, but I would more compare him kind of to maybe Method Man in the sense of he has that big Brooklyn accent.
That's why I see it. That's why I see it.
That kind of slow drawl type of hip rap, like he's really deliberate with what he's saying. He reminds me a bit of Method Man. Also, Pro Era, and I know this gets thrown around a lot, like, oh, they're like Wu-Tang Clan, but out of every group that has come out recently where everyone can rap, they might be the closest to Wu-Tang Clan. Because, for instance, I'm Future, not all of them can rap. Like, Frank Green or whatever his name is, he can't rap.
He said Frank Green. Who the hell is
Mike Green or Mike G?
Mike G. Don't disrespect Mike G. Don't do Mike G like that. He got a little flow on him, bro.
The only cats in our future who can't rap are the ones who say they can't rap.
Exactly.
If you're comparing him to the other members of that group,
well, bro, here's my thing. You said that. Listen. If I list all the guys in office who can actually rap, Haji, Tyler, Domo.
Earl.
And Earl. That's 4. That's 90% of the crew who raps.
Yeah. And then there's Mike. And he's supposed to be a rapper too.
He's just one guy. He's one guy though.
Everybody in Wu-Tang could rap though.
But not
that's what I'm saying. Like,
not everybody in Pro Era.
Everybody said it.
Not everybody in Pro Era can. What?
I thought you about to form your mouth to say one of the niggas in Wu-Tang couldn't spit.
Nah, but yeah, but I mean, but getting back on it, like I would agree with the style wise is Nas, but I mean delivery and rap wise, because he does have that slow draw, but he also is quick with the wit, like inside the actual song, the actual lines and all that. So I can see the Method Man. The Method Man the same way. Okay, what about if any negatives about the project or Joey BadA? Any negatives?
Well, you can see he still has room to improve. He's not a finished product.
No.
And with age, you can tell that. And that's not necessarily a negative. Like, I compare him kind of to what I felt about Earl Sweatshirt like 2 years ago. if there was room to improve. And now you see, if you listen to some of Earl's, the only song he released since he got back, Chum, you can see that lyrical growth. And the same thing with him. Like, he's not a finished product. He's not a finished product at all. And that's not necessarily a negative, more of a critique. It's not a bad thing. It's just, you can tell he has room for improvement.
If anything, I guess the only thing I can count as a negative when I think about that room to develop is that maybe the album was too just one concept, which is great. I feel stupid talking to you people and telling you that one of the most sought after factors and that's missing today in hip hop albums, that Joey BadA nailed it, and I'm gonna hate on him for it. But if you didn't get to see any kind of trap beats or any futuristic type of beats or anything like that, it was just one style of beat. He kind of he kept his flow just like that, kept it consistent throughout that whole album. As far as not being a finished product, I'm afraid when I say that, next thing you know, he flops. He goes over some other way with this. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in the future with this. With his feature album or his commercial album. But I guess the only thing I can hate on is that you only saw that 1999 laid back retro kind of concept.
For me, the only negatives, I have a couple, but they kind of small. Like, the only negatives is like you said, like, I think and it was dope, but it didn't vary enough for me. It wasn't like some people, I was like, it was just the whole way through, which I'm not complaining about, but it's just like, definitely. It was kind of with the same vibe all the way through. Kind of like Spitter does, but Spitter has some track where they do is a little bit more up tempo, but he was kind of mellow the whole way through. But let me see, negative. And the other negative, I just think he has room to improve. Like, he can get so much better, like, track wise. He has the ability to do a lot more. He's, like you said, he's 15, 16 years old. He's like, once he figures it out, then dudes are in trouble once he figures it out. So that's my opinion on that. A final score overall for the album?
I'm gonna give it you got it, Ben? Go for it. Okay, I'm gonna give it, all right, this time you go, Ben, my bad. You keep saying go ahead, and I go ahead.
Alright, I'll probably say about a 7.5 to an 8. Wasn't a perfect mixtape, but it was very, very good. I'll probably say 8.
If there's such thing as a perfect mixtape, though, I feel you, though. Go ahead, Rivers.
No, but
I would say yes, there's such thing as perfect mixtape.
Really?
I would say, yeah.
Oh,
if it's a mixtape,
and you think
I would say a mixtape is a. I'm not gonna linger around that subject much. I'll just say I think a mixtape is kind of just you trying to get noticed and for your skill and whatnot. And I would say that he executed that perfectly. I'm gonna give him. I'll give him a 5. I'm gonna stick with the same 10 out of 10. I'm gonna go 10 out of 10. I'm gonna give him a 10.
Whoa, 10 out of 10.
I would give it 10 out of 10 because.
We're gonna reach that topic later. We're gonna reach that topic a little bit. We're gonna go back on that. But for me, you're
not gonna see a lot of those 10 out of 10s, people. But I'll give it that.
Let me see. I'll probably give it a solid 7 point. I go 8. I round up there. I give it a solid 8. I give it an 8. It's a really good tape, like a really good dope tape. Like if anybody who watches the video who hasn't heard of or listened to Joey BadA 1999, we will be linking it in the description bar. You guys can go download it, listen to it, bump it. It's dope. So, with all our scores being said, that's going to be the end of this 3 Kings podcast mixtape review. Joey BadA 1999. You guys go check it out. I'm Taylor signing off 3 Kings podcast. Got Ben.
The Stephan.
And Stephan signing off too. Hit us up. Twitter links, Facebook, on the actual YouTube page. You're a clown, man.
Yeah,
on the
that's
YouTube
a promotion,
page,
I respect it.
Hit us up. Any kind of, mixtape requests for us to review. 3KingsPC@gmail.com. Hit us up. That's gonna be it for this week. I'll let you guys later. 3 Kings Podcast.
Later.
We out.